Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Turner, Senior Director of Product for Google Home, and I'll be joined today by Hussein Bengali, Product Manager for Google Home. Thanks for being with us today to learn about how you can start building your next generation of smart home devices and applications. If you've joined us at some of our previous events, you've heard us talk about how we're entering a new era for smart home, for both the industry and at Google. This new era is defined by openness. It's built on open, collaboratively developed technologies like Matter and Thread, on universal interoperability that unlocks the innovative potential of developers of all sizes, whether you're an established consumer brand, a startup, or an enthusiastic hobbyist, and on a vibrant ecosystem of your devices, applications, and services that delight users with differentiated value, yet come together to create a smart home that is so much more than the sum of its parts. Google is committed to that openness. It's the foundation of the Google Home platform and all the developer tools and features that you'll hear about today. And it's what makes Google Home the best platform for smart home developers, with tools that help you quickly build Matter and Thread devices that work on any ecosystem, with Android APIs that bring the benefits of Matter to your applications so that they can work with any Matter device, and with new intelligence capabilities that unlock your innovative potential. In the spirit of openness, we're opening up the developer previews for all of our new tools starting on June 30th, so you can start building the next era of smart home. Today, we're sharing the details that you need to know about how Google is supporting Matter and Thread. First, the launch of our new Google Home Developer Center, which is an expanded suite of tools for every smart home developer. 2 new SDKs that will be launching as developer previews in June. The Google Home Device SDK, which is the fastest way to start building Matter devices that take advantage of the power of Google's intelligence, and the Google Home Mobile SDK that lets you create great application experiences with Matter. And finally, our new go-to-market tools and the Works with Google Home program. We're building all of this and opening up access early so that you can get a head start on building the next wave of devices and experiences that will let us accelerate the growth of smart home together. And that growth potential can be seen in how far we've already come. Our smart home partners have connected over 80,000 compatible devices across 8,000 brands. Google Home and Android users are connecting to more of them every day, 250 million and counting, and finding new ways to get value out of them by using them together. In 2021, we saw growth in both the average number of devices per Google Home household and how people are using them together, with tens of millions of users who have at least one active automation. And that includes the millions of households that leverage Google's Home and Away intelligence to make their homes and devices more helpful. And this year will be an even more pivotal one for the growth of the smart home, especially at Google. Whether you're updating your devices and applications, adding new ones to your roadmap, or are a new entrant taking this opportunity to jump into the smart home, we're committed to helping you maximize your investment. Throughout this year, we'll have a number of exciting announcements to show you new ways that we're making the smart home more helpful and helping you grow your engagement and user base. The first step on that journey for all of us is helping you build your next smart home devices and applications. Today, we're going to focus on the technologies and tools that you'll use to do that. Some that we've talked about before and some that we haven't, but all designed to make the way that you build the smart home more efficient, more intelligent, and more open. The best way to do that is building on an open foundation with Matter, the newest and fastest way to build devices and applications that work with Google Home and everywhere else. Over the past year, you've been hearing a lot from us and the entire industry about Matter, the new universal open smart home application protocol that makes it easy to build, buy, set up, and use smart home devices. We're really excited about Matter and the benefits it brings for both developers and users. Matter is going to help increase your developer ROI, because today you have to build integrations for every ecosystem or partner that you want to interoperate with, some through the cloud and some locally. Matter lets you develop once and for everyone with a single, stable, open standard that lets your devices work locally with other Matter devices, applications, and ecosystems. That means less time spent on connectivity and more time spent investing in innovation. It also removes barriers to innovation and growth by enabling more devices to work together from companies both large and small. That's because with Matter, interoperability is no longer based on convincing others to adopt your protocols or you adopting theirs. Also, Matter is going to make your user experiences better. Today, smart home out-of-box experiences can be frustrating. Users have to navigate many different setup flows with multiple steps to get devices on the network, connected to your application, and linked to ecosystems or other devices. A recent study found that 36% of consumers experience difficulty setting up smart home devices on their own. Matter makes your devices easy for users to set up and to link to their favorite applications and ecosystems, with a consistent setup experience that connects most devices to users' networks, applications, and ecosystems in one consistent flow. And once they're set up, they'll be more reliable and responsive because Matter devices connect and communicate locally over Wi-Fi and Thread, removing the lag and potential failure points of cloud-based connections. Matter also simplifies your roadmap. Today, even the simplest smart home devices require an application and cloud service, adding development and ongoing overhead cost. With Matter's IP-based connectivity, you can deliver great experiences without having to build more than what your user experience needs. So you can build a connected device that works out of the box directly with Google Home and other Matter ecosystems, and add rich user experiences with application and cloud-based functionality. Perhaps more importantly, Matter has industry-wide commitment. The open standard has been developed by Google and over 250 leading and innovative companies in the Connectivity Standards Alliance. The working group recently announced that over 130 devices are on their way to becoming Matter certified this year, plus 16 different OS and silicon platforms supporting Matter for a robust development supply chain. This level of momentum is unprecedented and means that Matter won't follow the usual adoption curve that new standards often have. Major ecosystems and dozens of other popular smart home brands have publicly committed to supporting Matter, many on devices already in millions of homes, through software updates coming later this year. Devices like our Nest thermostats, which we're working on to support Matter so they can be controlled by other platforms and devices that have been certified with Matter. We're working towards a goal of making any Nest device that is Matter capable compliant with the standard, and collaborating in the work group to bring Matter to more device types in our portfolio. Most importantly, we'll be ready for your Matter devices. Google will be updating many Nest devices to be Matter controllers starting when Matter is formally launched later this year. We want to make sure virtually every user with a Google Home ecosystem is ready for your Matter devices and to make it easy for new users to adopt. So we worked hard to ensure that nearly all Nest speakers and displays and Nest Wi-Fi will be updated to act as Matter controllers for Google Home. That includes everything from the original Google Home speaker to the affordable Google Nest Mini to our most capable devices like the Nest Hub Max that can connect with Matter devices over both Wi-Fi and Thread. This lets your Matter devices be connected to Google Home and controlled locally and remotely by millions of users anywhere they interact with Google, including on Nest speakers and displays, Android devices, and of course, the Google Assistant. For users that don't have one of our Nest speakers, hubs, or Wi-Fi, our Android APIs and tools still help to connect your devices to your app and make the connection to Google Home later, or link them through a cloud connection if you have one. We'll of course continue to support cloud connections for both existing partner devices and new Matter devices to help ease the transition for users and support your smart home API cloud-based features and value adds. Many of our device partners have products already in users' homes that can be upgraded to Matter for greater interoperability, local control, and reduced cloud overhead, among other benefits. We're going to help make that process easy, secure, and in many cases automatic for you and your users. Once you help your users update their devices with Matter support through your existing cloud or application connections, we'll provide a seamless path to ensure devices that your user has already connected to Google Home are upgraded to be able to use a local Matter connection. You'll find more documentation on this in the Developer Center, and we'll be opening up testing to more partners as we get closer to the Matter launch. Using Matter and the Smart Home API, you can enable Google Home to commission any Matter devices that you've upgraded without disruption to users' existing configurations. If you have an existing cloud integration and plan to maintain it, we'll deduplicate that connection for users automatically while maintaining it as a fallback to make sure that your user experience is consistent and reliable. Many new Matter devices will use Thread, an IP-based wireless mesh networking technology that's designed for smart home devices. With long range, high reliability, and the ability to operate for years on batteries, Thread unlocks new device types and use cases and extends the capabilities of your smart home. Part of what makes Thread networks flexible and resilient is their ability to form a mesh network that automatically adapts for the best performance. We believe in enabling users to have a strong Thread mesh network in their home, regardless of who makes the devices that are part of that mesh. As part of the new mobile SDK, we're including Thread APIs in Google Play services that developers can use to join their devices to users' Thread networks. For those using our Matter APIs, that will happen automatically as part of the device setup process. But we're not restricting setup or use of Thread. Developers that want to customize their Thread setup or have other non-Matter use cases that leverage Thread can interface directly with the Thread APIs. We also want to make it easy for users to connect your Thread devices, so we're taking an open approach to Thread networks. Thread devices join users' existing home networks through a Thread border router. Just like a Wi-Fi router can bridge Wi-Fi and Ethernet devices into a single network, a Thread border router allows Thread devices to become part of users' networks. With the launch of Matter, we'll be enabling Thread border router support on the Nest Hub Max, Nest Hub 2nd Gen, and Nest Wi-Fi. But if your users have a border router from you, another vendor, or built into devices like hubs and routers, they can also use those border routers to connect Thread devices to their network and to Google Home. And we'll support users doing the same to connect devices through our border routers to other compatible ecosystems. Another way that we're making it easy for you to bring Matter and Thread products to market is the work that we've been doing with leading silicon and solution provider partners to ensure their platforms deliver the best of Matter and Google. That makes it easier to update your existing products and gives you more options when building your next ones. And it helps you deliver more than just basic connectivity, but a high-quality user experience with Matter, and of course, for your Google Home users. To set a high bar for user experiences, we're already working with the top brands from across the industry who are building for Matter and Thread with Google, with many more to follow. We're making sure that their Matter devices and applications aren't just Matter compatible, but together with Google and Android, deliver experiences that make the smart home feel more seamless and open. Part of making the home feel more open is making users' devices all work better together, no matter who makes them, or where and how they engage with them. Matter makes that possible, but it's our job to help deliver on that. So as part of that goal, we're collaborating with Samsung to ensure that Google Home and SmartThings users can get the best of both worlds with seamless multi-admin sharing. And of course, ensuring developers can build their best Matter experiences on Android. Starting in June, you can start building your best Matter experiences with Google too. With the launch of the Google Home Developer Center and the developer preview of our Google Home device and mobile SDKs, you can start building your Matter devices and applications with Google and be ready for when Matter certification launches later this year. Developers who create an account in the Developer Center and create a Matter project will be able to enroll a Google Home Mini, Nest Mini, or Nest Hub Gen 2 into the program. This will enable our developer preview of Matter support, and for the Nest Hub, Thread border router support, so you can build and test your devices directly with Google Home. And now I'll turn it over to Hussein, who will help you get started by taking a closer look at these new tools and why Google is the best place to build those Matter devices and applications.
Thanks, Michelle. Let's begin that journey at the only place you need to go, the new Google Home Developer Center. Over the past several years, we've offered a number of flexible integration options for smart home developers of all kinds. These include the Smart Home API for cloud developers, local home SDK and seamless setup to create local connections, and a variety of features to add more value to your smart home integrations on Google. And thousands of you have built great smart home experiences with those tools that millions of users engage with every day. But we've also listened to our partners, and you've told us that developers, product managers, and the business and marketing teams that support you want a single destination with all the resources and tools to learn, build, and go to market in one place. Launching today, the new Google Home Developer Center is the place to start all your smart home journeys with Google. It's the total redesign of our developer site focused on major upgrades to navigation and new self-serve tools for both developers and their business teams. The Developer Center has everything you need to learn about building devices that work with Google Home, from learning about the how and why of different integration options and features to cloud and mobile development resources. With introductory articles, guidance for different device types, and of course, a complete library of technical documentation, both new and experienced smart home developers can start their learning journey here. It's also where you'll get started in the new Google Home Developer Console, launching in June. The console will have guided flows, tools, and education for each step of development, testing, deployment, and analytics, including building Matter and other smart home devices, customizing setup of your devices in Android and the Google Home app, building Android apps with Matter, testing and certification, tools for analytics and performance monitoring. And for those building Matter devices, we're introducing a new tool for managing OTA updates to your devices connected to Google Home. The Developer Center also includes business resources to help educate your stakeholders on Google Home, Matter, and other smart home technologies, as well as marketing resources to help your teams deploy, promote, and sell devices that work with Google Home. We're incredibly proud of what our team has built, and we're excited to share it with you today, along with all the updates we have planned ahead. Visit developers.home.google.com to start learning and building at the new Google Home Developer Center now. And please make sure to sign up for the new Google Home Developer newsletter to stay on top of new features, tools, and requirements. The Google Home Developer Center is where anyone building smart home devices and apps can start their journey, no matter what kind of integration you're using. It's been purpose-built to be the best place for you to build your Matter devices, so they'll work seamlessly with Google Home, Android, and your own apps, and of course, with any other Matter-compatible apps and ecosystems. That Matter development experience is enabled by the Google Home Device SDK, the fastest way to build, test, and deploy Matter devices. The Google Home Device SDK extends the open-source Matter SDK with development, testing, and go-to-market tools, including extensive documentation on building with Matter and Thread for both experts and those just getting started, end-to-end tools from development to testing and certification to deployment, managing OTA updates, and analytics. And Google Home IDE extensions for Visual Studio to support your development journey in a familiar environment, including automated assistant command testing, cloud logging, device testing, and Matter virtual device support. We've built all this to make the Google Home Device SDK the fastest and easiest way to build your Matter devices. But the whole point of Matter is to make it simpler, to add connectivity so you can spend more time innovating and differentiating. And our goal is to help you do that too. We all want the smart home to become more intelligent, and intelligence usually requires context. The smart home is about more than just connectivity, more than just a new way to control devices. It's about the innovation and differentiation that connectivity unlocks. It's about our homes and devices becoming more intelligent, helpful, and proactive. One of the key enablers of that intelligence is context about what's happening in the home and what users want to happen as a result. Today, the context generated by Google's Whole Home Intelligence enables home and away routines. Millions of our users have adopted home and away to automate their homes, and your devices to intelligently respond to presence. But while your devices can participate in automations triggered by home and away, we've spoken to many of you who have amazing ideas for how your devices could more intelligently respond if only they had the benefit of that context themselves. Starting today, as part of our commitment to a more open smart home, we're making the power of Google Intelligence available directly to your devices. We're announcing the addition of intelligence clusters as part of the Google Home Device SDK. Intelligence clusters make Google's whole home context available locally as an extension of the Matter data and interaction model, enabling developers to build more intelligent, differentiated experiences through your devices using a familiar interface. We're starting with home and away, given its popularity with users and use cases that apply to so many of your devices. We'll continue to expand on these capabilities in the future with feedback from our partners. Openness is at the heart of our smart home strategy, but so is privacy, and we'll ensure that Google and our partners respect and defend users' privacy and choices. Context will be protected and shared locally, with user consent and visibility into how and with whom that information is shared. And developers who want to use Google Intelligence clusters will need to meet security and privacy requirements. You'll find more information on requirements and how to apply for access in the Developer Center. We believe that capabilities like this will kick off the next chapter in smart home innovation and create a more responsive, helpful home for users. We can't wait to see what you build. To get started building devices with everything we've talked about today, check out Marco and Doug's session, Building, Testing, and Deploying Smart Home Devices for Google Home, for a deep dive into all of the functionality available in the Google Home Developer Center and Google Home Device SDK. One of the benefits of Matter is that devices can connect with Google Home and other ecosystems out of the box, so you don't have to build companion apps and cloud services just for setup and interoperability. But for many of you, apps are an invaluable part of the user experience for your devices, from setup and configuration to educating users on how to get the most from your devices, to delivering your most innovative features and maintaining relationships with your users. And in fact, many of your smart home apps are popular, engaging, and get great reviews from users. Yet, the industry often talks about the smart home having too many apps. So where's the disconnect? The problem isn't really about the number of apps. It's about the number of different user journeys and the number of steps within them for doing things that should be simple, like connecting devices to the network and linking them to apps and other devices and ecosystems like Google Home. These journeys usually require a lot of steps across multiple apps, each one of them a potential frustration or failure point that can be difficult to troubleshoot. And they're often very different from device to device. This limits consumers' confidence in buying smart home devices, and if they do, it can limit their ability to set them up and get the most out of them. For developers, your journey can be equally challenging, requiring you to spend a lot of development resources simply getting your devices to connect, contending with so many different mobile and home network configurations, and helping your users navigate them. We're solving these problems for users and developers with Matter, Android, and the Google Home Mobile SDK. Android is the largest mobile OS in the world, running on 3 billion phones, tablets, and other devices. Our goal is to make smart home setup and connectivity work simply and consistently on every Android device. To do that, we're building support for setting up and managing Matter device connectivity directly into Android and giving you access to it through Google Play Services Matter APIs. This lets you build apps and take advantage of this Matter functionality already optimized for the Android platform they're running on. With the burden of managing connectivity off your shoulders, you can spend more time focusing on the differentiating experiences you're building for users. Google Play Services Matter APIs solve for a number of important developer and user experiences. Apps built on these APIs can directly connect to your Matter devices, and even other Matter devices users choose to connect and share with your app. It also enables great setup and sharing experiences. We've extended Fast Pair on Android to work for Matter devices, so setting up a new smart home device is as easy as connecting a new pair of headphones. That means users can connect your devices to their networks, Google Home, and your Matter-enabled app, all in just a few taps. And you can also trigger the setup flow directly from your app as part of your own guided setup. Matter's multi-admin sharing feature allows users to connect devices to multiple apps and ecosystems, giving them control over which devices they share. The Matter APIs let apps invoke Android's built-in Matter share sheet, letting users share devices with other apps or with yours. When users connect Matter devices to your Android app, our APIs help add your credentials so that users can control those devices from your iOS app too, without starting setup all over again. The Google Play Matter Services API is part of the new Google Home Mobile SDK, which includes Android Studio plugin and sample Matter apps. The SDK is launching in June and available through the Google Home Developer Center. Check out Marco and Pierre's Google I/O session, Building Smart Home Apps with Google Home Mobile SDK, for more on all the mobile tools we're launching for Matter developers. And now, back to Michelle to talk about how we're helping you bring everything you build to more users.
5 years ago, our journey as an ecosystem started by bringing the power of voice to the smart home. That's now grown into a powerful platform with Google Assistant, speakers and displays, Android and Nest, the Google Home app, and automations driven by users' creativity and Google's intelligence. And of course, an ecosystem of tens of thousands of devices made by partners and developers like you. Users have connected over 250 million of your devices to Google Home and engage with them every day, at home and on the go. Not only through voice, but in the Google Home app, Android controls on their phones and wrists, Nest displays, and automations. At last year's Smart Home Summit, we announced Google Home as a new but familiar brand to represent all these capabilities that our ecosystem delivers to help users and developers do more with Google. Today, we're updating our Works With program to match. Works with Hey Google is now Works with Google Home. The Works with Google Home badge means that brands who carry it have gone the extra mile to build high-quality, seamless experiences with Google using Matter or our existing integrations. The badge will give users confidence that your devices will work great, however and wherever they control them with Google. Developers who integrate their Matter devices through the new Developer Center or have existing Works with Hey Google integrations that meet current requirements will be able to carry the new Works with Google Home badge. More information on the requirements for the program are now available on the Google Home Developer Center. Brand guidelines and messaging are available starting today in the Partner Marketing Hub at partnermarketinghub.withgoogle.com. With the launch of the Works with Google Home program, we're rolling out a major update to our smart home directory and making it the new destination for Google Home users on the web. Launching today at its new domain, home.google.com, we've upgraded the site with new capabilities to help more users learn about smart home experiences with Google Home and your devices. We've added new, richer content about our ecosystem of partner devices, expanded the partner catalog to include more of your devices, and integrated it with Google Shopping, so consumers can go straight from learning about your products to purchasing them. And we're launching the site in 7 new markets to reach even more users worldwide. This is just the beginning of a new era in smart home and Google Home for users and developers. A new era driven by the openness, collaboration, and innovation of Google and partners like you, and a collective vision of a smart home that is more helpful, intelligent, and proactive. Today's announcements are just the beginning of how we're making Google Home the best place for smart home developers to build, innovate, and grow, starting with tools that let you quickly build your next devices and applications with Matter. And we can't wait to see what you build with Matter, Thread, and Google Home, and to share with you even more updates to the Google Home roadmap later this year. Be sure to check out our other Google Home sessions today at I/O, visit the Google Home Developer Center, and sign up for the newsletter to stay up to date on all our upcoming announcements. Thank you.